What is up, Guardians, and welcome to Swille Gaming, where you can stay up to date with Destiny content. So this is a crazy way to get infinite suspend with your Strand Warlock builds, and today I'm going to show you how. But first, if you're new to the channel, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more awesome Destiny videos. Now, let's get into today's video. For today's video, I'm going to break down how to get infinite suspend for Strand Warlocks. We'll go over subclass, aspects, fragments, what weapons to use, as well as armor and armor mods and stats that are all going to help you proc infinite suspend. This build does a lot more than suspend though. It generates pretty consistent unraveling rounds and threadlings, which are going to annihilate all the adds suspended and more. For our Strand subclass, we'll be using Healing Rift. This is going to help with survivability. Whichever jump you choose is up to you, but I prefer Strafe Glide. We only have one super, Needle Storm, and it's very powerful and will contribute to creating threadlings. Our melee is Arcane Needle. We get 3 charges of this, and it can be really great for picking off enemies quickly while suspending those around it. Our grenade of choice will be the Shackle Grenade. This grenade is going to be our main source for our infinite suspend. When you throw it at enemies, it'll damage and suspend them. Now our main method for suspend will also need the aspect Mind Spun Invocation. This aspect is going to allow us to consume our grenade instead of throw it. You can also still just throw it if you choose to. To consume your grenade, you press and hold the grenade button. Once consumed, you now have a buff called Weaver's Trance that is active for, I believe, 25 seconds. While Weaver's Trance is active, all final blows create a suspending burst. Pay attention to and remember that, because this is how this build will be able to suspend it infinitely. We will need to apply some fragments and mods to get the infinite part going. Our other aspect will be Weaver's Call, which creates 3 threadlings and deploys any threadlings you currently have up. This is good because threadlings are a big part of damage output for this build, and we have many ways of generating them. Speaking of threadlings, our first aspect will be Fragment, and this will make our threadling travel further and deal additional damage. We also get a small intellect bump out of it. Next we'll use Thread of Generation. This fragment states, dealing damage generates grenade energy. This is another big part of this build, since our whole build revolves around consuming grenades to activate Weaver's Trance to gain suspending final blows. Our goal is to do that infinitely. That's why this fragment is so important. Literally any damage from any source is generating grenade energy for us, resulting in getting our grenades back faster. We take a small bump to Discipline, but that's okay because we can always spec our armor pieces for that, which I'll show you how. Next we have Thread of Warding, which grants Woven Mail, and that's whenever you pick up an Orb of Power. Woven Mail provides some damage resistance, and paired with 100 resilience, it gives you about a 70% damage resistance increase, which is pretty big. It should be hard to die unless you're just standing there intentionally taking damage. This one is also a small bump to resilience, but again, we can spec to make up for that. Our last fragment will be Thread of Continuity, which just makes our suspend, unravel, and sever effects last longer. Since we'll be suspending adds all the time, keeping them suspended longer is going to fit nicely with this build and give us a small strength boost as well. For weapons, you're really going to want specifically Strand weapons to feed into our Strand abilities like Unraveling Rounds, Sever, and Threadlings, but also weapons that can get pretty quick kills to proc suspend from Weaver's Trance. In the kinetic slot, I'm running Rufus' Fury. It's the Strand auto rifle from the Root of Nightmares raid. Mine has target lock on it, but more importantly, it has Demolitionist. Demolitionist gives us grenade energy on kills with this weapon, which, yep, you guessed it, is going to contribute to our infinite suspend. In the energy slot, again, you're really just going to want something to pick off adds quick. I have on a likely suspect Void Fusion Rifle from the Witch Queen, but you could also use something for range here like an exotic bow like Tiku's, or maybe even Le Monarch, or if you have another weapon with Demolitionist on it, even better. And in the heavy slot, you'll want the Circular Logic Strand Machine Gun, acquirable from the Terminal Overload public event on Niamuna, again with Demolitionist on it. Now for your armor stats, you're going to want to spec for 100 Resilience for survivability and 100 Discipline to get your grenades back even faster to feed into that infinite suspend even more. If you need help obtaining high stat armor, tap the link at the top of your screen. Once you have your best armor, apply Resilience and Discipline mods to your armor to bring both stats to 100. On your helmet, put on a heavy ammo finder and 2 Strand Siphons. Siphons will create Orbs of Power, which not only recharge our abilities, but remember from our fragment, Thread of Warding gives us Woven Mail. On your gauntlets, you want Impact Induction, which reduces our grenade cooldown when causing damage with your melee. Are you starting to see the theme now? We're using every method we can to reduce our grenade cooldown to the point where after consuming your grenade to activate Weaver's Trance, we should hopefully already have our grenade back before Weaver's Trance is even up. Moving on, you'll also want Bolstering Detonation, which grants class ability energy on damage from grenades. Having our class ability, which is our Rift Sooner, helps us stay alive and generate Threadlings from the aspect Weaver's Call. Using our Rift will again charge our grenade from a mod you'll see on our bond. So as we go on, you're seeing more and more ways to generate grenade energy, which remember is how we'll be able to suspend infinitely. And the last mod on our arms is a simple fastball for when you choose to throw your grenade. Instead of consume it, you can just throw it further. On your chest, you'll put on emergency reinforcement, which is going to help with survivability, and 2 strand reserves, so we always have heavy ammo for our circular logic. For legs, we're using the exotic swarmers, and there's going to be a lot of strand damage, which tends to create tangles, and with swarmers, when you destroy tangles, they spawn threadlings that unravel targets that damage. Put on Absolution here as well, which reduces all ability cooldowns when picking up orbs, and 2 strand surges to increase strand weapon damage when picking up orbs. And lastly, on your bond, you need 2 bombers, which again give us grenade energy when casting our rift. So at this point, we have a ton of ways to generate grenade energy, resulting in always having grenade ready to consume, to activate Weaver's Trance, to always have suspending final blows. I will demonstrate this in the clip that follows. The last mod we need is Reaper, which gives us an orb on the first kill after casting our rift. Now let's see it all work in action. Alright, so as you guys can see, I immediately start off by consuming my grenade, and if you look on the left side of the screen, you can see that we now have Weaver's Trance, and that's active for 25 seconds. So the goal here is to get our grenade back before Weaver's Trance runs out so we can keep using it. As the gameplay goes on, periodically glance at that timer and compare it to whenever we have a grenade ready. We should have a grenade always before that timer runs out. After consuming our first grenade, we already have it back with 16 seconds left on Weaver's Trance still. Let me break it down for you. Let's take a minute to remember all the methods we built to generate grenade energy. We first have the Fragment Thread of Generation that gives us grenade energy by dealing any damage. We have Demolitionist on both our kinetic and heavy weapons, which grants grenade energy from kills with those weapons. We have 100 Discipline, which reduces our grenade cooldown. We have Impact Induction, which reduces grenade cooldown from melee damage. And Bolstering Detonation will give us class ability energy that, when used, will generate grenade energy from the mod Bomber, which we have 2 of. That will grant even more grenade energy. Now that's a very generous amount of sources to generate grenade energy to pretty much guarantee we always get a grenade back before Weaver's Trance runs out. Now as the footage rolls on here, I just want you guys to pay attention to, as we get kills here, watch the grenade meter. It's going to refill, so you can see we're getting kills here. There's unraveling rounds flying. That grenade meter is increasing. Threadlings go out, Threadlings attack. Boom, another grenade. So now we're going to kill enemies here. This is Demolitionist working for us. Generating grenade energy on those kills. Unraveling rounds. And again, watch that meter. Grenade energy should be refilling pretty slowly here. You can see that we still have 13 seconds on Weaver's Trance, so we're going to get some kills here. And just like that, we got another grenade with time left on Weaver's Trance. Now this build is going to do a lot more for us than just Suspend, so you can see we have a lot of unraveling rounds flying everywhere. Threadlings are a big one too. Whenever we pick up those tangles and throw them, we're going to create Threadlings. Tons of Suspend going on. Again, look at Weaver's Trance, 18 seconds. And now we have a grenade back, and there's still time on Weaver's Trance. So we have a ton of Suspend going. We have a lot of unraveling rounds going, Threadlings. The build is actually putting out a lot of crazy damage, as well as our infinite Suspend abilities here. So again, boom, grenade back. Weaver's Trance is still at 11 seconds. Tons of Suspend. Weaver's Trance is at 20 seconds. We still got a little ways to go on the grenade energy. There's a grenade, and we had 9 seconds left on Weaver's Trance. So now this is where the magic's really going to happen. So we have our Suspend, we've got our Unraveling, we've got our Threadlings, we got Sever. Now all this is going to happen in time. After we kill this boss here, you're going to see everything working at once. And now as the ads start spawning in, we're going to keep proccing our Infinite Suspend. Let's take one out. Suspended. Enemies down. So now you can see here, without even firing a shot, when this next group of ads comes in, all of our Unraveling and Threadlings are going to take out that entire group of ads. It's beautiful. Consume another grenade. Everything's down. Look at the Threadlings go. Look at the Unraveling. So you can see with this build, you always have a grenade ready to consume before Weaver's Trance runs out, thus giving us infinite Suspend. But Suspend isn't all we have going for us. We're generating tons of Threadlings and Unraveling rounds that are comparably doing more work than our weapons. The build is practically playing itself, and it's extremely fun, and it works well in high-end content like raids and Grandmaster Nightfalls too. Alright guys, that's going to do it on today's video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this Infinite Suspend Strand Warlock build. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.